Chewbacca, magical bed styling, move like magic that challenge, proof unique reminding, getting round that losing shop, my word Chewbacca gun, you will never end the rain, we keep multiplying, running through the evidence, there's no denying.
Family, and welcome to Get the Tea on Me Royalty. I'm getting on here today because last year I did a burial of my inner child. It's a whole process that I went through for the past, let's say, I would say 9 years. I've been going through this whole transition of healing my inner child. I think I told you guys about my husband who passed away March the 5th, 2022. And I told you that we had came together to heal our inner children, so that we can, move forward and flourish in life, because you can't really move forward until you heal that inner child. And so I went through a whole process of healing my inner child, and in doing so, I decided to do a ritual that would include me actually doing a burial. And so I wanted to give you guys a view of what that looked like, because I did record the whole transition and the whole burial. Um, I did this last year during the summer. It was around the time of my birthday, which is May 5th, and I did it. I did this ritual on May the 17th of last year, 2024. Um, and when I did this ritual, it was a very emotional ritual for me, because my inner child, she basically, carried me through some really rough times. She was my protector. She was the one that will slap somebody in the face, knock somebody out, curse somebody out. But she also was the one that would, keep me smoking marijuana or have me making bad choices as I grew into a young woman. And so, basically, the burial represented me burying that part of her that felt that she needed to survive and fight for me. Because if we're going through, early childhood abuse and things of that nature, yeah, definitely we're going to have some type of energy that shows up to protect us, whether it's us creating an imaginary world for ourselves, whether it is, I mean, and children have many different ways that they adapt and adjust to abusive situations. And mine was to take on an exterior of, mischief. My inner child was very mischievous. That was the only power that she felt she had when abuse was happening in the home, was to in some way be a rebel. And if they're saying follow this rule, she made sure she did the opposite, or she would just create havoc within her own life, not other people's lives. Well, of course, when you're creating havoc, your family members may be affected by those things. Though my inner child, she did a whole lot in trying to defend me throughout my life, but she would do it in a very aggressive and very destructive way, which I don't require anymore. So last year, May 17th, 2024, I did a burial for her at a very beautiful park that I normally go to. There's a whole trail that I walk to. There's a whole trail that I walk from my house all the way to this park where, everyone's out there walking their dogs. Mostly a lot of white people out there. And during the summer, I always went out there to this particular park, and I would just ground. I would sit in the grass and I would ground for hours. I mean, from like 12 noon to like 4 in the evening. I would just be out there 4 hours straight, just studying, because, I'm a native doctor. So I had a lot of studies that I was doing last year, especially during the summertime in the warm seasons. I would go out and I would sit in the grass and study and, just be in this park. So when it came to me burying my inner child, I thought that this would be the perfect park for me to bury her, because there's always, happy vibration there, whether it's children playing, whether it's soccer matches going on, because the whole neighborhood, it's a lot of homeowners surrounding this park. So all of their kids would come and they would be playing soccer, real life soccer games. I used to sit out there all summer and watch the soccer games. Anyway, I felt this would be a perfect place for me to bury my inner child, because there will always be excitement and children playing and, happiness. And so the video that I'm about to post is a ritual of me burying my inner child, and then the miraculous things that happened and the signs that I got after burying my inner child. I mean, it's like immediately Spirit was telling me, was showing me, which you'll see in the video. Immediately Spirit is showing me, you know, that my ancestors were there, that I just did the right thing, that it could have been worse. You know, all kinds of things are just popping up as soon as I'm done burying my inner child, which I'm so glad I got it on tape so that people can see that yes, the ancestors do walk with me, and they send me messages and signs, and you know, all day every day, as well as you know, if you're open to listen and to you know, clear the blockage so that your ancestors can communicate with you, yes, you will hear them loud and clear. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and get into the video of me doing the burial for my inner child. And I'm also going to be posting daily affirmations on my channel because I feel like that's a good thing for me to do. To if I don't post any content, at least do a daily affirmation where I'm speaking positivity and life into those that are viewing these videos. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and let you guys watch the video of me burying my inner child. And I pray that you can get something out of it. I pray that you can resonate with it. This is a ritual I chose to do so that I'm doing a physical burial and not just a mental burial. I needed to do something physical and release her. I'm going to come back and let you guys know my feelings after that burial, okay? And so, yeah, let me go ahead and get out of here, and I'll see you guys in a minute. This is me burying my inner child. I'm not going to explain the ritual. I'm not really going to explain much right now. I'll get more into detail about it later. Though this is me burying my inner child, the pain that my inner child carried. She is dead now. Her roots are dry. She is dead from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet. She no longer needs to survive in the ways that she used to survive. And I'm burying my inner child here at the park that I come to play in. Every day I come here and I swing on the swing set. And so every day I come here, I can reflect on my inner child. Probably should have wore some shoes. But I'm going to bury her underneath this gym where all the children comes to play, this jungle gym where children come to play, something I would have loved to do as a child. Very nice, very nice. I'm gonna bury her right here, and that way children can run and play, and so she'll always be around children in a healthy way. So I'm laying her here. I'm just gonna dig a space for her. And I'm laying her to rest. As I lay her to rest, it is clear that we don't need the things that we used to need to bear our pain. We don't require the things we used to do to bear our pain. We are okay now. We are just fine. And we can lay her to rest now. She can relax. There's no more problems. There's nothing else she needs to think about. She can just relax now. And I bury her here in this playground so she can always have joy running around her, laughter, and a peace of mind. Probably wore some shoes here. I don't know why it's so sad, me leaving my inner child behind. She had a lot of pain and a lot of trouble growing up. She went through abuse, mental and physical abuse growing up, and she learned look what I find right after I lay my inner child to rest. This represents a new start, and you guys just see me pick this up off the ground. After burying my inner child, I find this butterfly, which represents a new beginning and a new start. You guys just see me pick that up. I did not know that was going to be there. It was like Spirit just gave me something to represent this day. Yeah, next time I might put on some shoes. And I'm going to go to our little library. I'm so glad I found this butterfly, you guys. You can see we have our little library here. Every time I come to this park, I come to the library. Oh, look at this. See, they be having all kinds of stuff in here. It's a whole collection of books. L. Ray Jakes. I remember this as a kid. Yeah, he was the little African king. Aww. This is a good book. It could always be worse. All these books I'm finding right now. It could always be worse. My Guardian Angel. Oh, I might have to take these home and read them. Spirit is always giving me a sign or a message somewhere, some way. I'm gonna take these too. Healed now. Look at this. Jumbo means hello. Look at this. The sun and the moon lives in the sky. These are some very spiritual books that I'm finding today. Lord have mercy. I don't think. Oh, now. I love our little library here at the park. So cute. I think I'm going to have to start me a series. I already already have a crown growing out of my head. I already have a book called A Crown Growing Out of My Head. And so my mom told me I should make a series out of it. And look, here's a series right here. So this is a sign to get started on that. Now that I know how to publish my own books, I don't need to take them all though. Got me a nice little stack, y'all. Look at this. Look how spiritual these books are, though. My new beginning. And just to say this before I get off, when I was inside the store just a minute ago passing out my flyers, the last flyer that I passed out was to a woman whose shirt said, "This is a new beginning." She said, "This is a new beginning," and I can't remember what the bottom said, but it was Romans 8:18 on the bottom of her shirt. It was, "This is a new beginning," and then the scripture Romans 8:18. So I have to go home and read Romans 8:18 and see what that has to say. So I'm gonna end it on that note. But this has been a good day, you guys. My inner child, and then to walk away from that scene of burying my inner child and walk up and find this butterfly. A pink and gold butterfly at that. That pink represents love and gold just represents me, baby, all day long. But yes, so now I have something to represent the burial of my inner child. That was so emotional, you guys, for me. You guys will never know how emotional that was. We traveled so far together and we came such a long way together, and that was beautiful. And then it was almost as if after I did that, Spirit started sent me right to the little library, and here we go. Then I get books called My Guardian Angel. And then I get another book, It Could Always Be Worse. I can't wait to read these. And then of course I have a dragon. Most of us goddesses do. And so this is called the dragon. I want to see what that's about. And my spirit animal is the dragonfly. So the dragonfly being there and the dragon, this is just all adding up. And then we get the African book, Why the Sun and the Moon Live in the Sky. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to read that. And then Jambo means hello. And so, you know, it was just like an inner child healing day. She got some good books. She got her fly now. You know, it's time to fly. It's time to fly. No more inner child crazy drama. I'm about to, you know, work on my Spanish. I've been learning like 3 different languages, so I'm working on my Spanish. I got a couple of different ones out here. But yeah, I'm just about to lay out here and enjoy my backyard and embrace my new beginning. So I guess you guys just finished watching the video of me doing the burial of my inner child, and it was a very emotional video. It was a very emotional time for me. As I said before, me and her has been riding like Bonnie and Clyde since the beginning, and so it was a very emotional experience. But after that, after doing that burial, it's almost as if my life has been just taking beautiful turn after turn. I'm just talking about victory after victory, because now I can clearly see where, I am moving forward in a beautiful way. I'm moving forward in a beautiful way. I'm having the courage to, actually just see what it is that has been happening throughout my life, where I was, neglecting myself, or where I was needing to do more in my world, So I'm really happy about me being able to bury my inner child and to see her. Literally, I can say, like, it was a week after the burial, after I buried my inner child and did the whole ritual. A week later, I'm sitting in the park last year, and it was probably like towards the end of May. And I'm sitting in the park, and I'm on my blanket, and I'm learning Spanish at this time. I'm learning Spanish, Swahili, and I'm learning Portuguese. And so I'm sitting on my blanket and I'm listening, and I look up and I see a little girl. And at this park, there's never really any black children there. I mean, because I'm in an area where there's, this park is in an area where there's a lot of white people. So there's a lot of white kids, Mexican kids, but you never really see any African American children. And so one day, as I'm sitting there doing my studies, I look up and I see a little girl, and she has on a pink shirt. And I'm actually going to show you guys. As you guys can see in the video, after I buried my inner child, I found this butterfly, which I took home and I saved it, and I'll always keep this butterfly because it represents, me, that burial of my inner child. So about a week later, I'm sitting out there, and just like I said, there's normally never any black children in this park, ever. And if there is one, of course, she draws my attention. So when I look up and I'm listening to my Spanish lesson, I look up and I see this little black girl, and she has this huge afro puff on her head, just like me, and she has, and the day that I was sitting in the park, I actually had an afro puff in my hair. So when I looked up, she saw me. I know she saw me. And so when I look up, I see her, and she has on some shorts. Now, when we were younger, my mom raised us Islamically. So when we would go outside to play, if we wore shorts, they weren't shorts like that came up to your thigh. They were shorts that came to your knees, and you can roll them up a little bit above your knees, and that is as far as it went as far as shorts for us. So, as children, we weren't allowed to wear little mini skirts and shorts and things like that, and I thank my mother for that. Um, though at the end of the day, I look up and I see this little girl. She has on these little rolled up shorts like I would have on as a child. She has on a pink shirt that looks like it has a big flower on it. It looked like it had like a huge flower on it. And she waves at me, and she just goes like this, And so I wave at her, and I'm like, huh? And I was like, who's? So now I'm looking around to see where's her parents at, because she's like, look like she's probably like 6 or 7, and she waves. And so I'm looking around to see if her parents, I'm looking for the parents, like, where's the little black family at? And so I don't see any black parents. I only see the white parents. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe she came with the white children's parents. And so I continue to sit there, and I get back into what I'm doing. And when I look up again, she's gone. The little girl is no longer there. And so I'm kind of like looking at the slide. I'm looking at the swing. I'm kind of looking I'm looking in the playground, because I'm looking to see, where did this little girl just go? And I looked around me, I'm looking around because I'm looking for this little girl, and she was nowhere to be found. So before I leave the park, I'm doing like my little round. I always take off my shoes, and I'm walking in the grass, and I'm grounding. And then we have a little library that I'll go to pick out a couple of books. It's like a little free library that I showed you guys in my other video. And I'm telling you guys, this park is really magical. Every time I go to this park, there's some type of message or some type of magic I get out of it. I mean, this park has been a really magical playground for me, honestly. And so when I get up to do my little walking with my grounding with my shoes off, I walk over, and I'm actually, as I'm walking towards the jungle gym, I'm still looking for the little girl, because I'm like, I know I just seen that little girl something. She was nowhere to be found, you guys. And as I get to the edge of the grass where I'm about to walk over to the little library, I find this. This is, and I can, and I can't even say for sure if this is the flower she had on her shirt. But if I was to, in recollection of that memory of seeing her waving at me, there was a flower on the front of her shirt. And it makes me want to cry right now, but I'm not going to cry. But this is what I found on the ground. So the day after, you guys were able to see me in the video. After I buried my inner child, I found this butterfly. It's in the video. I'm walking away after burying her. Look down. It's actually on this side, and I pick it up. And the color pink represents love, and the color gold just represents me, royalty. And so when I'm out there a week later, and I see the little girl wave at me and then disappear, and then I find this, I just broke down in tears again, because I was like, wait a minute. And it just started to click that it dawned on me that I literally had freed my inner child. Because after I came back home and I thought about what I had just seen and what I had just experienced, it was clear to me that I had just seen my inner child. And when I just go through my mind in regards to what she had on, it was what I would have been wearing at that age, if I would have been, my little roll up shorts, had on a little pink shirt, and she had the flower on her shirt. I swear it was a flower. I can't say for sure, but I know she had something on the front of her little pink shirt. Okay, and she waved at me, and in that moment that I realized that that was my inner child, that little girl who waved at me was very happy. And I was just so glad to see that she was happy. And I carry that memory. I carry that memory with me because I have never had a visual of my inner child, except for when I was doing the healing work, when my husband was still alive. And I first began healing my inner child, she would get in the bed with me. Like when I was loving her, giving her that love, letting her know that certain things that happened to her wasn't her fault. This is what I was doing the whole time I was married. Me and my husband were supposed to be doing this inner child healing together because he went through early childhood trauma as well, and we were supposed to be healing our inner children together. And you know, when he was still living, I was doing a lot of that work. And my inner child, she would get in the bathtub with me when I would be doing my spiritual ritual bath. She would come in and get in the bath with me, and I would let her get in, and then she would just sit there, and then she would just fade away. And then she would be in the backyard with me as I'm meditating. She just wanted to be near me. It was like I was giving her love that she never felt, and she just wanted to be near me. And the healing happened for me, and it was happening for my husband. He ended up passing away before he did all of the work, though the healing was happening for me. And so those are the only times that I physically was able to see my inner child, is when she got in the tub with me or when she would get in the bath with me. And she only got in the bath with me, a spiritual bath with me, once. So it's not like it was a constant thing. She got in there with me once. And then she would get in the bed with me. That happened, like, on and off. She would just get in the bed with me and want to feel me hug her, because as a child, I remember I used to always want to get in the bed with my mother and just have her hug me or hold me after, chaotic or toxic stuff would happen in our home. I just wanted to be held. And so I did that for her every time she would get in the bed. And then after a while, it was almost like she didn't need it anymore. And then I seen her in the backyard when I was out there doing my meditations and yoga. She was standing by our pool, and I walked over to her, and she just kind of looked up at me, and she had on a red. That's the thing that I wanted to remember. She had on I had just bought a bunch of flowers for my spiritual bath, and they were like purple, red, yellow. And I remember the sundress that my inner child had on the day that I seen her in the backyard standing by the pool. It was the exact same colors of the flowers I had just bought. She had on a beautiful sundress. And growing up, we weren't allowed to wear sundresses or things that had like spaghetti straps. Our arms had to be covered all the way down to our wrists because we were Muslim. So as a kid, I always wanted a sundress. I wanted a sundress where my arms could be out and it would be floral printed and all of that. And that is what she had on standing in the back in my backyard. And when I looked down at her, it was almost like she wanted me to see the dress and see what I said about it, because when you're growing up and you're not able to wear what you want to wear and express your creativity, that's traumatic as well. I never was able to express my creativity and what I would like to wear. And so when I looked down at her and I seen she had on the sundress, I was like, "Oh wow, that is a beautiful dress." And I just really just put a big spin on the dress and how beautiful it was, and gave her compliments in regards to the dress. And that was all she wanted, is just to know that what she chose to wear that day was okay. And it was almost like she just looked at me and then she faded away. So those were the moments that I seen her. And so when I saw her at the park, it was just really, I mean, when I think about it now, that is just such a magical thing for me. And then to find the flower right after seeing her, and I don't know if this is the flower that was on her shirt, baby, I don't even care. Just the fact that she seen me, she waved, and the fact that she was no longer there when I looked back up and there were no black parents in the park, that was my inner child. And she was saying, "Thank you for leaving me at this park. Thank you for burying me here, because it's kids here all the time. I can play." And then when I started going to the park, she would come to me in spirit, not where I can see her, but she would come to me in spirit, and I would say, "So how are you doing?" And she was like, she plays all day. And then it's so funny because, and I said, well, what do you be doing when you're playing? She said, sometimes I race with the kids. She runs with the kids because there's a school right behind the park where there's kids playing all day, every day. And so she pointed over there, like sometimes I play with them over there. And so I looked and I was like, so she's running around here playing with all these kids. But at the end of the day, you guys, healing is so important. You guys could never experience what I experienced. I could talk all day and cry and try to get you guys to feel what I felt and experience what I experienced, and you'll never be able to feel the magic of what happened for me. So, but I just wanted to get on here and let you guys kind of get a spiel of what happened after the burial and the experiences I had after the burial. Though I keep these two as confirmation of spirit and ancestors walking with me that day. As you guys can even see, after I did the burial of my inner child, as soon as I opened the library, there's a book with a little boy with a crown on his head, and then there's a book saying, hey, it could have been worse, and then there's another book saying, my guardian angels, and then there's the sun and the moon is communicating with me, because I already know as an African goddess that when the sun sets, that is the sun bowing to the African goddess, and when the moon sets, that is the moon bowing to the African goddess. The circle, that big circle that represents my crown, is saying, hey, we see you and we bow to you. Okay, that the sun and the moon, that is the sun and the moon bowing and rising for the African goddess. And mama honoring her children. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, you guys. I'm gonna create another video, just because I want to do an affirmation. I would like to do affirmations every day, just a positive word, elaborate on it a little bit, and then, move on with my day. Though I want to be consistent with the content and let you guys, just be inspired by my amazing journey, okay? But you guys, just at the end of the day, no matter what they say, in each and every single way, I am royalty. You are royalty. We are royalty, family, and I'll see you in a minute. Ashe.
Oh, Brocadabra, here I come. Magic carpet styling. Move like magic at challenge. Proof unique reminding. Getting round and losing shop. My word, she back again. You will never end the rain. We keep multiplying. Running through the evidence. There's no denying.